Hello, I'm Melanie Cambridge, and as well as being an artist, over the years I've developed a range of my own artist brushes. They're all made from synthetic fibres, not natural hair, and as you can see I've got an example of each type here. The large oval wash brush has very soft fibres and holds a lot of paint, although it does also keep a very sharp edge, so you can paint fine lines with it as well as use it as a wash brush. My brushes that are mainly for oils or acrylics are these creamy synthetic fibres, lovely spring and hold a lovely edge. And then on the end we've got the more traditional round brush with the brown fibres, which are softer and hold a really good point. I've now made a short video clip showing you one or two of the brushes in action, which I hope you will enjoy. If you have any questions about specific brushes, do please email me through the website, and I'll do my best to explain and answer any of your questions.
The largest of which is absolutely ideal for blocking in areas of colour quickly and efficiently. It has a lovely flex. As you can see, you can get excellent coverage when blocking in a large area of colour. Next, I'd like to introduce to you my long Filbert. This is a medium-sized brush, but with longer length hair, giving it extra spring and making it ideal for flicking colour on top, in this case on top of wet blue paint, to create sparkling light or ripples on water. The brush just dances across the surface, as you can see. It's very easy to handle, and also you can use it to build up impasto effect, so to create a patch of bright sunlight on open water, which is what I'm aiming to do here. Finally, we come to the medium standard Filbert. This really is the workhorse brush of the collection. It gives decent coverage, although not quite as much as the larger brush you would need for larger paintings. You can use it on its smooth edge, or here I'm pushing against the hair to create a very mottled effect, which in this case gives us the impression of a simple tree in the distance. Because the brush is quite soft at the end, you can then load impasto paint on top and add highlights directly on top of the wet paint underneath. They don't mix, a gentle amount of pressure, and you can see the paint will sit on top of the underlying colour and help you to create a realistic and believable simple tree. A slightly different brush, this is my flat detail brush, which I find very useful for areas where you perhaps don't want a round brush, you need a hard edge. I quite often use this for very simple figures, such as here, silhouetted shapes. You can quickly put in a solid shape with the main part of the brush and then turn it on its side to get fine lines to put in this case, the legs on the dog, and create lively brush strokes very quickly. Again, one brush covers the whole subject. And finally, we come to traditional round detail brushes, two different sizes. The slightly larger one I use a lot, the very fine brush really only for rigging or perhaps even just signing your painting with, but still useful. Here you can see how the brush is slightly softer than the white hairs, giving you a much sharper point, which will stay. I've used my brushes for quite some time and they hold their point very well. The softness of the hairs means you've got a lovely flex. As you can see here, putting in this simple figure using all one brush and varying the pressure in order to put a larger area like the trousers. I'm just putting a slightly more pressure on the brush to add in the shorts, and then we'll finish off with the hand, freshen up where his legs, and give the chap a little blob of dark brown hair. Another very useful brush. I'd like to introduce my 1-inch oval wash brush made of synthetic hairs and ideal for watercolour or gouache. The brush will hold a lot of paint. Here you can see me loading it with some cadmium red gouache before starting this demonstration. So let's look at the different brush strokes. Obviously a flat wash line. Turn the brush onto its edge to create beautiful thin lines using the unique oval shape. Twist the brush and vary the pressure and it behaves much more like a round brush, making beautiful marks. Or a few gentle flicks will give you the effect of long grasses, as you see here. Finally, the very tip of the brush can be used to make some really subtle little flicks and marks, perhaps water or reflections or just some very fine details. A really wonderful, flexible brush. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the various brushes in my collection, all of which are available on my website, not on Amazon.